on MyTV Baltimore.
The following is a paid program and does not necessarily represent the views of MyTV Baltimore.
Hi, welcome to Straight Talk, and I want to welcome all of our viewers from all the cities that we're now in. We're going to talk today about an issue that's affecting the entire country. You see it every day on TV. We're hearing about it in every campaign, even the presidential campaign. The problem of heroin and opiate addiction in this country. And it's big, and it's bad, and it's affecting a lot of people. It's killing more people than car crashes around this country. More people will overdose on prescription drugs than heroin and cocaine combined. It's a huge problem. It's affecting all of our families, all of our communities, and it doesn't discriminate. And today on Straight Talk, we're going to talk about it with a family who's been through it. And they're fortunate because their son lived. Many don't. Many will die of an overdose. So joining me to start is Corey Long. Corey, welcome. Congratulations on being in recovery. And thank you so much for telling your story, you know, of what happened. So let's start. You know, you were using drugs when you were a teenager, like most teenagers are doing.
Yeah.
When did that start?
It started around my 16th birthday. One of my friends had some weed, asked if I wanted to smoke it. And I was a little nervous, but I said yeah because these people had, like, I don't know, welcomed me into their friend group. And something I had always dealt with was low self-esteem and feeling like I'm not fitting in. So these people welcomed me into their friend group, offered me some weed, and I said yes.
And you enjoyed it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it very much. It felt like I had finally gotten the thing I was looking for my whole life, like a missing part of me, something that made me feel okay with who I was.
And you were fitting in with some other people?
Yeah.
You were like part of a group?
Yeah.
That was pretty cool. Yeah. And how long did you move before you moved on to something else? You know, we talk about everyone starts with pot, and then,
yeah.
And it's probably more true than not.
It was probably about 6, 7 months I was just smoking weed and drinking occasionally until, I mean, when you hang around people that are doing drugs, eventually someone's going to bring something different to the table. So somebody introduced me to hallucinogenics, and I started taking acid and mushrooms and stuff like that. I thought it was a social thing. I thought we were all just having fun or whatever. I didn't really think anything of it. And like I said, when you're hanging out with people that are bringing drugs around, eventually pain pills came around.
That's a pretty big leap from hallucinogenics to pain pills, because they're different drugs.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, it's a huge leap. Yeah. But back then, I just wanted to put whatever I had in me.
Exactly.
I wonder what this makes me feel like. But then when I did pain pills, that was really it felt like the golden ticket to me. It felt like I didn't care about the insecurities I had about myself. I didn't care about if I had friends or not. I didn't care about anything. It just made me feel that good inside. So I started to form a habit pretty quickly because I wanted to feel like that every day. And a couple of my friends, one day they got some heroin, and they were using heroin around me for about 2 months before I even did it. I told them, like, oh, you guys are so stupid, why are you doing that? And they would come back with, well, we're spending less money than you and we're getting more high than you are.
Because heroin to you, I mean, you grew up in a nice neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, heroin was like, forget it, man. They don't do that in the city. That's like a hardcore.
I didn't think in my whole life I would ever see heroin or know somebody that was doing heroin. But eventually, their arguments to why they were doing it instead of pain pills, it just sounded more appealing to me. I was having a rough day, and they asked me if I wanted some, and I said yes, and it was just off to the races.
The first time you did it.
Yeah.
Now, when you did heroin, you can either inject it, you can smoke it, or you can snort it, right?
Yeah.
Which one did you do it first?
I started off with snorting. That was what I was doing with pain pills. So I guess maybe it made me feel like it wasn't as bad since I was doing the same kind of thing. And I would tell myself, at least I'm not shooting it, right? At least I'm not shooting it. Then I'd be a junkie. Then I'd be an addict.
And that wasn't you.
That wasn't me.
Right. You weren't an addict, right?
No.
Right. Well, how long does it go from snorting heroin to getting addicted to heroin to then shooting it up? Is that a long period of time?
Well, I snorted heroin for probably, I would say 3-4 months, until one day I was like, all right, I want to just try to slow down on this for a little bit. And I had never caught like a physical dependency to a drug before, so I didn't know what that was like. I tried to stop using heroin, and then I couldn't. I thought I was getting the flu.
Right.
I was just sick as a dog. I couldn't get out of bed, and I used a little heroin, and I felt normal. So then it turned into using heroin to get high, or it changed from using heroin to get high into using heroin to feel normal. And
then if you wanted to get high again, you had to go out and get more money to get more heroin.
Yeah,
So
and that's why I eventually turned to the needle and started injecting it, because there was just no way I was gonna be able to get high if I was snorting it. I would have to spend a lot of money.
So now here you are shooting heroin
Yeah,
when you never thought you'd ever be at that place.
never.
And now you're out hustling money, going out, buying your drugs.
Yeah.
You're living a whole different life. And you didn't even know what was going on.
No, I had no idea. And it's weird because no one around me really knew either. I mean, in hindsight, I'm sure they can see the signs, but my parents didn't even know what was going on until I came out and told them. And I was living with them, and I was working with my dad. So I was living a pretty intense double life for a good 4 or 5 years.
We're going to talk to your parents in about a minute.
Yeah.
And then we're going to find out what their perspective, what they went through. And then we're going to have you come back, because I want to hear about your recovery, what you're doing now. But we're talking with Corey Long and his family. His parents will be on, talking about his addiction, talking about heroin addiction. You know, we're talking about a good middle-class kid from good neighborhood, good family, and it's happening all over this country. All over this country. So I'm hoping that you're listening, and hopefully you'll be able to get some help. So Corey, thanks for getting us off to a good start here, learning about this addiction, and we're going to talk to your parents and find out where they are.
Okay.
All right, we're going to come right back to Straight Talk. We're going to talk to Corey's mother and Corey's father. So stay with us. We're coming right back to Straight Talk.
Parents sure have their hands full, and they could use an extra hand. Now, every state offers free or low-cost health insurance for your sports hero or budding artist. Kids up to age 19 can get checkups, doctor and dentist visits, hospital care, prescriptions, and more. Your child may qualify based on your family size and income. It's one less thing to worry about. Call or go online for more information.
What about my privacy?
It's protected.
And the music I listen to. Protected.
What about how I wear my hair?
And the things I say and write?
The Constitution protects your rights.
It isn't an old, fading piece of paper.
It's a living document.
The Constitution says there are 3 branches of government.
So we're kind of like the 4th branch of government.
We are the future of America.
Find out how you could become part of Constitution Day.
For me.
For all.
For real.
Constitution Day is every day.
Minds can achieve achieve anything. We make sure they get to college. Federal student aid provides more than $150 billion in grants, loans, and work-study funds to make college possible for anyone with the mind to get there. Because if given the chance, minds will do great things. Federal Student Aid, proud sponsor of the American Mind. Learn more about money for college at studentaid.gov.
Welcome back to Straight Talk. We're talking about a family that's been going through heroin addiction. We talked to Corey Long, young man, started using heroin when he was very young, in his late teens, became an addict, and, you know, thank God he's alive. But now we want to talk to Corey's parents, Suzanne and Richard. Thank you so much for allowing us to use your story. It's so important to get the message out to people. We heard Corey talk about his progression, you know, and I can imagine from parents, when you first heard that story, you probably went, we didn't know what was going on. It was our kid, you know? So what did you think was happening as he was a teenager and drinking and smoking pot and then all of a sudden moving up? What did you think? Anything at the time?
I think I was in denial. I knew he had admitted to smoking weed, and I let myself believe that was going to be it. I didn't know. I had no idea it progressed.
So your thoughts, I mean, you know, you're young enough to know about the drug scene.
Right.
But your thought was when he said, you know, I'm smoking weed, maybe drinking a little, like you were kind of like, oh, okay, maybe we're lucky and that's it.
Yeah.
You didn't know or think?
No, I didn't think.
Did you see anything else going on with them, like school or friends, anything? That as you look back, say, we should have paid attention to that.
I can't pinpoint anything.
Yeah.
Can you?
I mean, he's always been, you know, seemed like he was missing something, like he wanted some friends that he didn't have, or there was always like there was something missing, you know, and, you know, we've seen that, but you know, as a parent, I mean, it's like you think you're doing the best you can, and you don't know what else you can do, but you don't think drugs are going to ever come into the picture. And he did say he was smoking weed, and I talked to him and talked to him and talked to him, and I'll never do anything more than that, Dad. I'm telling you, don't worry about it. Everybody does it. I mean, you know, it's like, got to hope that he's going to stand to his word, you know, and then I don't know how much time went by, but there was things that didn't seem right, especially working with him. You know, he worked with me every day, 10 hours a day, and there was a lot of times he was sick, and you know, towards when he was really using, and
like he wouldn't show up at work, or
it was just excuses, and Mommy was always listening to the excuses and convincing me that maybe he's sick, he's this, he's that, he's it. And I've been an owner of a business a long time, and I've been seeing a lot of people, good people, that got on drugs and ruined their lives, you know, and some of the stuff just sort of seemed the same, you know, and the people I work with are like, what's wrong with your son? Something's wrong with him. And it's like, And I come over and talk to Mommy, and she,
I didn't want to believe it.
Nobody wanted to believe it.
Who wants to believe that their child is on drugs?
So we kept giving him the benefit of the doubt and talking to him, and just, you don't want to see it, I guess.
What made you finally make that move or know that something really bad was going on?
There was just too many inconsistencies of his attitude, you know, at work. He was in the bathroom way too much. He was way down, and then 5 minutes later, he's fine, you know, and he's like, he's a different person, and he's ready to work, and he's moving around. It's like, what the heck happened?
Right.
You know, well, I was sick, I threw up, and I feel better. What?
So you knew.
You know, something's wrong, Corey.
You knew something was going on.
No, Dad, nothing's wrong. You know, and I just kept on him, and I was badgering him, and then it was just that one day, I took him outside, you know, out the back door, and I was just going to ream him a new butt, and I was just, something's going to change. Something's wrong with you. Tell me what's wrong. Something's wrong. I don't care what mommy says. She's saying there ain't nothing wrong with you. I'm telling you there's something wrong with you. And it was that moment, you know, and he pulled his sleeve up, and
so he actually,
yeah.
You got him right. You got him to the point you were ready to bang him.
I was getting mad.
I understand that, you know, but
and then it turned to tears when I seen that, and he hugged me and said he needed help. You know.
I mean, it's an amazing thing.
Instead of me wanting to bash his head in, I gave him a big hug.
Yeah.
You know. Because I was torn, you know. But that was a tough day. But he came forward and he told me about it, and that's the first step, you know.
Right.
What we've seen. And as far as, you know, looking back and trying to see a way of stopping it, I don't know what I could have done.
Yeah.
And we talked to him now that he's been clean, and he's just like, Dad, Mom, there's nothing you could have done.
There's nothing. Right.
You know,
Right.
you didn't do anything wrong.
Right. You were doing the best you could.
You know,
and he was hiding it.
Yeah.
The best he could.
And they're good at it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're real good at it.
Yeah.
You know, they lie. They lie really good, and they believe their lies.
Yeah.
You know,
No, they're great. Yeah.
And where's the money coming from? Why are you sick so much? There's a lot of signs I've seen that you look back, you know.
And when it came time to get him, now they said he wanted help. Was help out there? Were you able to get help?
Well, Sue,
because that seems to be a
Sue
big
got
issue.
right on that. And
Well, I started right away looking at what our insurance would cover.
Right.
And I didn't like any of what I was finding. I was calling people, and
nobody would talk to him.
it just, they weren't talking about him. It just didn't seem right. And when I called MARC.
That's a Maryland Addiction Recovery Center.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They had just opened like 3 weeks before, and I talked with the owner, who actually answered the phone and put me at ease, and he just said all the right things and set us up for a meeting, and from there it just worked.
Yeah.
And people were great. Yeah, they were great.
Yeah. I mean, the whole thing of getting help, it's not that easy, like you said.
No,
you
it's
were
not.
persistent.
It's frustrating.
You know, between lack of programs, lack of money, lack of everything, you know, and people out there desperate for help.
Yes.
You know, desperate for help.
Yeah, and it's very, very confusing when you know, do you put them in rehab? And then you're talking, you know, all that money. You know,
expensive.
It's so much money, and it's but you can't.
But you weigh it. You know.
Put a price on your kids.
Right.
You know, life. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know. But, I tell you that Maryland Addiction, they helped us out big time. I mean, they were good people. I severely recommend them to anybody. I mean,
well, the people
care.
watching that are out there, they're watching all over different parts of the country, and they're probably, you know, saying, okay, what do I do? And we just put up some hotline numbers for the country that they could call. But, I mean, obviously, you want them to do something. You know, when you do find out, when you do suspect, like you did, you took them out back.
Yeah.
And you were ready to confront.
Right.
You were ready to do something, and that's what.
Yeah, and maybe I should have done it sooner. But he may not have been ready. You know.
Yeah.
He was ready. He was trying to quit, and he couldn't. And you know, his stories of him trying to quit, you know, I could see that, you know, that he had a decent side in him, that he still wanted to be a good human being. He wanted to. It's just that,
and, you know,
he made a mistake.
And thank God he's alive. The number of people are overdosing. But thank you both so much. You know, because I think it's so important to get parent perspective on this, because it's so important. And we're going to talk a little more to Corey, because I know he's doing great things now.
Yes.
So you can be really proud of him.
Definitely.
And proud of yourselves. Believe me, you did the right thing, and you hung in there. And that takes a lot. So thank you for sharing your story. When we come back to Straight Talk, we're going to continue our talk with Corey and find out where his heroin addiction led him and what he's doing now to help others. So stay with us. We're coming right back to Straight Talk.
This is Anthony. Anthony is wanted everywhere.
Anthony's on my team. Oh, he's on my team.
Anthony?
5.
Good answer.
Anthony, will you sit here and play for me?
Sure.
Yes, Anthony is wanted everywhere. Well, almost everywhere. Because recently, when Anthony went with his parents to find a new place to live...
It's already rented.
I just spoke to this guy a half hour ago.
How can his parents tell him the color of their skin is keeping them from this apartment? It's not just unfair, it's illegal.
I'd like to file a complaint.
So Anthony's parents filed a housing discrimination complaint. And now, they have a wonderful place to live. If you've been trying to buy or rent a home or apartment and you believe you've been discriminated against because of your race, color, religion, national origin, sex, familial status, or disability, call HUD at 1-800-669-9777 or visit hud.gov/fairhousing. Fair housing is your right. Use it.
Do you want to know what it's like to be a teen? Let me tell you. Your so-called friends who you've grown up with and known forever have now decided that you are not worthy of their company. And the person that you're dating, well, they made it very clear that what they expect out of the relationship and what you expect are two very different things. And your parents, well, your parents, they worry about how you're doing in school, but sometimes they just don't get everything that you're going through. And your sister, well, gotta love family. She's decided that the only way she can exist and be happy in life is by making you miserable. Sure, it's not like this all the time, but enough that sometimes you need help. And that's why there's YourLifeYourVoice.org. 24/7, they're ready to talk, to listen, and to provide the help that you're looking for. They're always there, always ready. You want to change your life? Take the first step. It's your life, it's your voice. Use it. YourLifeYourVoice.org.
To Straight Talk, we've been talking the entire show about Corey Long, his family, and his heroin addiction. We know the whole country is suffering from this. Doesn't discriminate, it can happen to anybody at any time. And we're hearing Corey's story, and we just heard from your parents, and that must make you feel good and bad.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they stood with you, but, you know, you put your parents through stuff, it makes you feel bad.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to sit there and listen to the pain I cause them and the rest of my family. But I mean...
That's the addiction, right?
Yeah. All I can do about it today is just keep moving forward on a good path. And
now your father talks about, you know, you finally saying you wanted help and you went to an intensive program.
Yeah.
I mean, did you learn about yourself in the program? What do you learn? We always hear about people, we need treatment, we need treatment. What do you learn in treatment?
I learned about negative behaviors that can lead me back to my drug use. The lying, the stealing, the manipulating. I learned about all of that and how to be more aware of when I'm acting out on those kinds of things. I talked about some trauma in my past and how that affected me and worked through that. I learned to have better relationships with people because I was in a group therapy setting and there was, on average, 12 people in the group with me, and I had to learn to sit and listen to them. I learned empathy and compassion. I learned how to let people give me positive affirmations, how to really be able to feel good about my accomplishments. I mean, I could go on for hours.
No, it sounds like you really... And again, we always say about any kind of treatment, self-help, whatever it is, that you get out of it what you put in.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like you really were serious.
Yeah.
And you put a lot into your recovery. And that's important.
Yeah.
Because that's what keeps you clean, you know, because now you got to deal with this for the rest of your life.
Yes, I do.
You know, you got to deal with it for the rest of your life. And it sounds like you're off to a heck of a good start in doing that. And you're actually working at the program you went through.
Yes.
That's pretty amazing. Tell me about that.
I was actually a patient at MARC, Maryland Addiction Recovery Center, for 15 months. And they told me to stay there as long as I needed to. Stay there until I felt like my time there was done. So I stayed there for almost a year and a half and kept in touch with the owners of the program and some of the therapists. And I was just on really good terms with them. And one day, out of the blue, one of the owners emailed me and asked me if I was looking for a job. They had just opened up a residential treatment facility, and they needed more staff in the house. So
And now here you are.
now here I am.
Helping other people. That's
Yeah.
pretty amazing.
Yeah.
That's an
and
amazing story.
A lot of the patients in the residential program that I work at, I tell them that I was a patient here, and a lot of them have told me that it's like an inspiration, knowing that someone has actually been like where they were, like
it's amazing,
and made it out.
Yeah, it's a miracle story.
Yeah.
You know, but you were telling me that even now, your old friends are still using and dying from heroin.
Yeah, I've lost 2 really good friends this last year. One in May, one in December. It's just
could have been you.
It could have been me.
Could have been you.
And to see the pain in their parents' eyes, I mean, just to know what they're going through, I can't imagine doing that to my family.
Well, you're a lucky man.
Yeah.
You made good choices now, and I know your parents are proud, and everyone's proud of what you are, and most importantly, you're proud.
Yeah. I'm
You're
very
happy.
proud of myself.
So thank you so much for sharing your story and your parents sharing their story. Today on Straight Talk, we're getting the message out about heroin addiction. It can be beaten. We can get help. We got to get treatment for people. Families have to be involved. Corey and his family did all the right things to get him help, and now here he is helping other people. So I want to thank Corey, thank his parents. Thank you for watching, and all I can say is get help when you need it. Thanks again for watching Straight Talk. We'll see you next time.
February. The award for the most revealing.
We have to have our adult moments.
The most star-packed.
DiCaprio to Damon, Kate to Charlize.
The most unpredictable.
That sounds like a scandal already.
How on earth could that be offensive?
Entertainment news show goes to Extra.
Welcome to Extra here at the Oscars.
Experience the most epic month on TV. Extra. All February.
Weeknights at 10:30 on My TV Baltimore.
Our whole universe was in a hot dense state than nearly 14 billion years ago. Expansion started. The way the Earth began to cool. The autotrophs began to Julie and developed duals. The pyramids, math, science, history, fun, traveling. The industry event all started with a big bang.
The angry family. The daddy was mad at the mommy.
You can only push a man so far.
The mommy was mad at the daddy.
You are the reason for the yeller.
There must be
The grown-ups were very loud.
Sometimes I just want to smack you.
You smell it. You smell it.
Stupid.
You're stupid. Stupid.
You're all nuts.
Everybody loves Raymond. Weeknights at midnight and 12:30 on My TV Baltimore.
Everyone is innocent.
I had no reason to kill him.
I didn't kill Matt.
It wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Until they prove them guilty.
Pants on fire?
Totally.
You're lying.
Matt played you, which gives you motive.
You took the gun, you put it in her hand, and boom! Come on!
I killed him. I did it.
5 days a week.
I didn't kill anyone. We get a lot of that around here.
Law & Order: Criminal Intent. Weekdays at 11 and noon on My TV Baltimore.
Showcase your business at the Be More Healthy Expo and reach more than 30,000 on site and hundreds of thousands on air and online. Reserve your space today. 410-662-1443. When you think of Ring of Honor, you think of high flying, high impact, tag team action. On tap this week, Matt Seidel and ACH take on the Young Bucks.